Hello and welcome back. As promised, another excerpt from Neville Goddard about, you guessed it, self-concept. That's right. How we see ourselves, because at the end of the day, there's only the self to change. Not the exterior, but the interior. If you want to see that change manifested in your outward world, you must create it on the inside first. Because as Neville says, well, you can't exactly break the mirror to change, because it's your face. You can't break it. You must change on the inside first. Here's what he says. Health, wealth, beauty, and genius are not created. They are only manifested by the arrangement of your mind. That is, by your concept of yourself. And your concept of yourself is all that you accept and consent to as true. Well, I thought that excerpt was pretty straightforward, but let me elaborate. Here are some of my things. This is the biggest one for me that I'm working through, and I'll just tell you about it. I always knew I had to use my voice. Whether I was singing, yes, you can check out my music, whether I was writing a story, whether I was narrating, I knew I had to use my voice. But I always felt unheard. You know, being 4'11", people tend to just look right over you, right? I always struggled with not being heard or feeling like I was not being heard. I'd give an idea at work, whatever. I'm not being heard. To the point sometimes where I always would have to holler. Why are you yelling, Angela? I'm like, because you're not listening. That's why. So when I discovered Neville, and Neville says to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, I'm like, well, I want to be heard. And I said, well, I got to find a way then to do what I do. And Neville says, until it takes on the tones of reality. You see, you guys just hear these snippets, but what you don't hear or what you don't see is me standing in my bathroom mirror and talking to myself. Myself, good Lord, did I just let the cat out of the bag? But I do. I speak to myself. Self-talk. And you see those things we say to ourselves. I had that. Well, nobody cares what you have to say. You're irrelevant. Look at how many people are already saying the same thing as you. You may as well stop. Well, that little voice that I heard for the longest time, I don't know how that seed got planted, but it sure took root. To the point as to where I stopped singing. Oh, indeed, because why? I was no Beyonce. I was no Rihanna. I was no Joni Mitchell. I was none of them. I had to come to terms with the fact that I am me. This is my voice. And something I learned along the way. None of those people that I just mentioned, they're not sitting at home thinking about me and what I'm going to judge them. No, they don't care. Why? Because they're doing what comes naturally to them. So that's why I decided, well, fine. I am going to do what comes naturally to me. I am going to speak. That's right. We all have some way of expressing ourselves. That is my encouragement to you today. If you're going to talk to yourself, Neville says, speak on those things that are good and pleasant. That's right. We all have good qualities. We do. If it takes you a little bit longer to find yours, that's irrelevant. The point is you have it. So spend your time looking for those good qualities and speak to yourself about those good qualities. But remember this, though. Finding your good qualities does not mean that you're superior or inferior to anyone. It just simply means you're finding what you are good at and you are speaking life into it. Because it's bad enough that the rest of the world has an opinion of you. Now you're going to add your voice to the cacophony of noise? Forget that nonsense. Oh no. If anybody is going to speak to me, it better be me, and it better be louder than anybody else. That's my point with self-concept. The way I feel about myself. I am not inferior to anyone, so I will not cower or bow. So when I get up in the morning and I look myself in the face and I say, you got this. Oh, you know you fly. Who cares what my neighbor thinks? Is it my neighbor? Because listen, we don't know what goes on in our neighbors' heads. No, but you know what's going on in yours. So you take the time and you plant the seeds that you want to grow. If that means the seed of confidence, then plant it. And when a weed of, oh, really? Really, girl? That's what you're going to do? Oh, you know you're nobody. When that weed of doubt springs up to challenge your confidence, be a good gardener and put your hand down there. Shoot, get your little tiny spade so you can get that shit out by the roots. Anyhow, I've preached long enough today. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We're all on this journey together, so we may as well get to know each other better. Much love.